This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host, halfway around the world, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Excited. One of our favorites again. Really hope everybody likes it.
Definitely like doing the states. I mean, you've been following us for, what are we, on a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
We did the states and laws. And now we're doing states with people born in there. So not from. We're trying to narrow it down. Yes, one or two may slip by a show that are not born there, but we will be honestly mistaken and try to correct our faults. But yeah, we try to narrow it down to the boring part. So, and it's a little hard to find unless you do good research. So all right. So we got 6 states. Let's start off with Colorado, Tim. So
Colorado, really?
My list.
You had to start with Colorado. Let's go with one of the junkie states right off the top.
Delaware's not better. Colorado, at least. So I'm going to go soft, and I'm going to say 2.
Don't. Somebody could record that and take that way out of context. If you're gonna go soft,
we won't let those guys that know how to make those clips and put it on a little tagline.
Right. Yeah. But I understood you went in alphabetical order. That's why I'm not that. I should have paid attention. Considering I picked the states.
Yeah.
Well, how many do you?
I said 2. You said
2. Yeah, you're well, considering there's not crap in Colorado. I say 3.
Okay. All right, we'll see where it goes. So you kick it off.
All right. So when I realized that one of these 2 guys is from Colorado and the other one isn't, so I can't put the other guy on there. But this guy is one half of the creator of a show that makes today's current events kind of right out in front and center. And I liked the show when it first started at the beginning because it was funny, but then it got into the point where they really started poking fun at the stupidity of today's culture. I've especially liked the 3 things that they've put on Paramount Plus to really slap in the face of people and today's society. My number 5 is one half of the founders and the creators of South Park. My number 5 is Trey Parker.
Okay. All right, my number 5 from Colorado. We're gonna step into the squared circle, and we're gonna go with 1 Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Not Stone Cold Steve Austin, Steve Williams.
No, that's why I said Dr. Death. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. One of the I loved watching these when I was younger. They started they started talking about this actor creating monster movies back in the 40s and the 50s. What they started eventually calling them the Universal monsters, the Dracula, the Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the creature from the Black Lagoon. Um, this guy is known as how we talk about Chris Jericho being the man of 1,001 holds, and and Dean Malenko is the man of 1,000 holds. Well, this man is technically and has had a book and a movie about him, about being the man of 1,000 faces, the man who has played Dracula, who has played Frankenstein, who's played the Wolfman. Matter of fact, I love every iteration that this guy does. My number 4 is the true man of 1,000 faces, Lon Chaney.
Okay. My number 4, I grew up watching this show. I kind of will watch reruns here once in a while of it. Had a stellar class, and everybody will know the theme song of I think it's Opie and Andy Griffin walking to the lake and stuff like that. I got Meg Peterson on there as number 4. She was Charlie. I just had her name up here. No, I was trying to search who she played because I just didn't want to say it was. It was Charlie Darling Wash was who she played in the Andy Griffin show. So,
starting to really feel
all right, you're number 3.
I'm starting to really feel proud of your number 2. You're soft 2 at this point. Holy smokes. My number 3 is currently in the top 3 running backs in current NFL football. Who would have figured that he would have been even further up on the list after he gets traded from Carolina, going to San Francisco and became a monster that he was, a former teammate of a quarterback that used to be in Indianapolis, but he was a teammate of Andrew Luck's at Stanford. And no, not be confused with C2C. He is probably top 5 running backs in San Francisco's history, and he's only been there for a year and a half.
Yeah.
But the true CMC, my number 3 is Christian McCaffrey.
No, definitely like that pick. My number 3, funny guy, in the bench warmers. I think he had his big hit in Napoleon Dynamite, which I kind of watched. It kind of growed on me a little bit. I didn't care for it at first. John Hader.
John Hader. All right.
You're number 2.
I'm starting to really worry about my number 2 at this point. I'm much like you. I'm going to go into the acting world. But I may have to double check this. But most people know this guy actually from Michigan. Where they think he's from Michigan, but he is not. As I'm going to run my little quick check, but everybody remembers him from a little show on. Hold on, give me a second. It's still here. Why did the heck they give me this? No, we're good. Double check. Yes, we have to have real time checking at some point. Probably most people remember him from cartoon movies, Toy Story, alongside Tom Hanks. Another guy, his TV show Tool Time. I know it's Home Improvement, but everybody brings this stupid show up, and they always call it Tool Time, even though it's Home Improvement.
Well, because the show inside the show is Tool Time.
Yeah, and my dad always called it Tool Time, and even though his dad is Home Improvement, I don't care. It's Tool Time. But my number tool. Great, nice going. And the funny thing is, I always get the whole "I don't think so, Tim," because it's the whole from Home Improvement.
Yep.
My number 2 is Tim Allen.
All right. Well, at number 2, we're going to start with the phrase that pays. I have by far still boggles me on why Carolina traded him. And then they went on a 6-game winning streak, which everybody was still dumbfounded. I got Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, by far best running back today's game. Definitely top 5 in probably top 3 in San Francisco history. So you're number 1.
My number 1 is how you went to the squared circle, and I'm not. I'm going to square circle, but you're going right. You went wrestling, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go boxing instead.
I miss.
To me, arguably, you could put him in top 10 pound for pound boxing champions of all time. I know between I can't remember. I think I may have another guy on my list later that is in my top 10. I know for a fact is in my top 10. I do not have him on my top 10. Why do I not have him on my top 10? Because 80,000 people from that state. But I want to see this guy. I want to see some footage of this guy but it's so difficult because a lot of his fights took place in the 1920s, not the 2020s. My number 1 is Jack Dempsey.
Okay. All right. So my number 1, the phrase that pays. I got Mr. Tim Allen on there. Yeah, part of me was like, when I saw the name, I'm like, ain't he from Michigan? Because he always is back in Detroit and stuff in all his shows. So, but no, he is from Colorado, and yeah. So we got 2. My top 2, your 2 and 3, I guess. So, all right. So now we're gonna go to another fun state, Delaware. I do have a curveball already. I will say that. So, you know what? I'm gonna go 2 again. I could see 3.
I could see 3 depending on our double up.
Yeah. So, all right.
I like your. I'll say I'll go 2, but I can see your 3.
Yeah. All right. You're not gonna raise a 3. You're just gonna see it.
I'm just gonna call it.
All right. So my number 5, a lovely lady that, if you watch her movie, I mean, she's probably in some people's top 10 of, celebrity crushes, definitely in mine. I've seen everything. I'm looking at her, except for the movie The Saint. I don't think I've seen her in, but I think I've seen her in everything else.
I've seen The Saint. That's the funny thing is.
She was in Back to the Future Part 2 and 3. She was in The Karate Kid. She was in Cobra Kai for an episode or 2, Adventures in Babysitting, and that's one Elizabeth Shue.
Yeah, I saw that one. This state was tough, and
this one was a tough one. So you're number 5.
Since you threw a curveball out, was that your curveball?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna throw my curveball out right now. If people watched us on draft night, my co-partner on draft day was Crispy Bacon. What most people don't know is that Crispy's last name is actually Mabry. And I picked this for number 5. He's a baseball player, former baseball player. And I believe he played for all I ever remember him, he was playing for the Phillies. Yep. But I picked this because of in honor for Crispy. My number 5 is John Mabry.
Oh, yeah, I just see the name on there. Well, I'll say that I would have thrown him on there too. My number 3, my curveball, double up, a pair of brothers who, if you look at their pictures, look identical, but they're not. They're born apart. One plays currently for the Oakland A's. The other one, I believe, is in the farm system for the the hated LA Dodgers, who I actually liked in the 80s and 90s, but now I can't stand them. And that is the brother combo of Gelof, Gelof, Zach and Jake.
Oh, I don't have them.
Yeah.
I
You
did,
got
but
excited for a second.
I
there.
did when you said I got a pair of brothers. I'm like,
all right.
oh,
Well, what brothers did I miss? So, all right, you're number 4.
My number 4. I'm gonna go with a musical artist, and honestly, I only know this guy for one song, and yet I still put him above John Mabry. If you've ever heard the song "Bad to the Bone," this is my guy. My number 4 is George Thorogood.
Yep. All right, my number 3. I'm staying on the diamond. We do a show called On Deck, and one of the guys is a big Cardinals fan, so he likes this guy. And I think for a long time, or for most of last year, I think he was, even though the Cardinals are bad, he was still putting up good numbers. Some people might have put him in the MVP category. Could have been the year before, but third baseman, Paul Goldschmidt.
That's all that one.
You're number 3.
My number 3 is my double up. Pair of brothers. If I'm not mistaken, I think they might be twins. I can't make sure. I'm not real sure.
Okay.
I'm going
to. One way to check.
Yeah, there is. But right now, it's probably not a good time to do it. Even though I checked Tim Allen in the process, I should have probably checked this one.
Yeah. Anyways.
To me, I think probably one of the best indie tag team champions of all time. Indie. Now I said indie, just so I don't get so people don't get confused. But the and the Dudleys and the I said indie, and then they show up on Ring of Honor, and we unfortunately lost one of them 2 years ago. I can never remember which. I know because I keep every time I play 2K 23, 24, I download both of them so we can always have them boys. I can always have them boys in my show. I see those guys. They're from Delaware, but they look like they're from West Virginia. I love the way these guys wrestle. It's sad that we lost one way too soon. My number 3 is both Jay and Mark Briscoe.
They're a year apart. Yeah, Mark Briscoe is.
Mark is he the TBS champion now, or
that's what I'm looking at right now because
he's in AEW, but I can't remember if he's a champion. But I know he held a belt.
Yeah, Mark Briscoe's there now. No, he's Ring of Honor champ.
Yeah.
No. I keep forgetting. Yeah. No, they're a year apart. Almost to the. Oh, let's see here.
Are they Irish twins?
January. Oh my God! This is ironic. So Mark Briscoe, born January 25th, 84. I'm sorry, Jay Briscoe. Mark Briscoe, January 18th, 85. I thought they were born on the same day, just a year apart.
A week apart.
Yeah, about a week apart. So, all right. So we're on number 2. All right. My number 2. Saw the name. I know he's done some stuff, and he looks like his dad. And we all know his dad for all the reggae music that he did. And I know he's doing some. And that's one Stephen Marley.
We're not getting one. We're not getting 2.
Okay.
You're number 2. We would have hit it by now. I think we brought this guy up last week we didn't bring this guy up, but we brought one of his co-stars up. I always remember him and he was on one of his co-star was in one of our birthdays, but I always remember my number 2. in a TV, or not in a TV movie, but in a movie that basically put Sean Penn on the map back in the day, back in 84, 85, and Fast Times of Ridgemont High. But I always remember then he did a like a body swap movie with I want to say Kevin or with Fred Savage back in the day. But I always remember my number 2 for being in a set of 3 movies with Eddie Murphy. And I think, and like I said, I think we brought it up last week when we had Eddie Murphy on our birthdays that they're doing a 4th one. I believe he is coming back for the 4th one.
Okay.
And everybody remembers Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, 3, and now Axel F. My number 2 was also his co-star in that movie, in those 3 movies, and my number 2 is Judge Reinhold.
Okay. Yeah, I believe he's coming back. That was yeah, what's his name in the movie? Detective. Yeah, I can't think of his name now. Let me see if he is coming back for that one, because that would be you got to bring all the.
Yeah, well, I know there's a couple that are dead.
Yeah,
I know they're bringing Bronson Pinchot back.
Yeah,
but I don't.
It's not letting me pull up his.
I got it.
There you are, films. Yep, he is coming back. He is coming back in the Beverly Hills Cop. All right, my number 1. I didn't want to put him on there, but I thought the family was big enough. So this is kind of a double up, but it's a family ties, even though the father or grandfather is not from Delaware, but the family is. And that I'm going to put in the Biden family.
Oh, you put the whole Biden family in. Okay, well then.
Yeah, I put the whole family in there.
I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, are you joking?
I was looking at all of them, and they're all Colorado. I'm like, all right.
That's like one entire family from Massachusetts too that I could have put in and didn't.
All right, you're number 1.
Well, go ahead. It's the phrase that pays, because there's like 40 of them, and I just took the big one out of the group. My number 1 is Joe Biden.
Joe Biden's not from there though.
Yeah, he is. Oh, please don't tell me I screwed up my number 1 now. Yeah, he's from.
Because that's the first name I saw too, but
please tell me I'm shit. Nope.
Well, I guess I don't have to fact check that one.
Oh wow, he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Oh my gosh.
But I will still take credit for sniping you at 1.
Yeah, it's still a Biden. It's just
that's the first one I put 2, and I'm just like, I didn't think he was. But all right, so let's move on to Georgia, the home of WCW. So
and Georgia Championship Wrestling. Did you? I'm going to ask this question. Did you get a chance to watch Dark Side of the Ring?
Which one?
The latest one.
No.
About Black Saturday.
No, I didn't.
About Vince buying Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Oh no, I did not watch that one.
It's called The Rise of Vince, and yeah, watch it. It takes place a lot about Ole Anderson and Vince for the whole rise of Vince McMahon. It's the season finale, but it's good.
Okay, I'll have to watch that one. Yeah. So this one, I could see 5. I'm not going to go 5 because I don't think we'll get there.
I can see.
If we go 5, it's going to be because we talked backstage. There's double ups everywhere.
I have no double up in Georgia.
Okay. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 3.
Yeah, I'm going to be safe with 3.
So, all right, you kick it off.
All right. My number 3 is your favorite wrestler. We'll get that right out of the door, right out of the kick. Everybody, I think we've had this conversation where everybody thinks he's from Minnesota, where he thinks he's from Florida, where he lives in Florida now. But that's not the case. The guy who would my number 5 is the guy who basically put WCW back on the map, hand in hand with Eric Bischoff. Had to this day probably the greatest heel turn in wrestling history. Believe me, took me completely off guard when you watch Nitro the next night. If you weren't watching the Great American Bash the night before, it was like a big slap in the face.
Almost like WWE not having WrestleMania in Minnesota next year.
Oh, that's just that's terrible. But my number 5 is what you're gonna do. My number 5 is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. My number 5 from Georgia. Tim, me and you met in music. This guy was not around when we met, so I did not get to play any of his songs. But he's a country singer, and I know if I would have been DJing back in the day, I would have been playing this probably a song of his probably once every hour because he's got some good hits. And that is one Luke Bryan.
Oh, did you see what day he was born? What day he was born on?
No, I missed that.
Yep. Double check, make sure that he was born on my birthday. Yeah. Yep.
July 17th. He's 47.
And the funny thing is, Ty Cobb died on my birthday in 67. So, and he's from Georgia too.
Right. Number 4.
My number 4, the great civil rights leader of our time, of not our time, the time before our time. Before you ask, I looked him up. He's from Atlanta, so I'm safe. Again, tragically taken before a lot of things happened in this world. The guy who pushed my number 1 for another state to get civil rights moving in the United States. Great depiction of him in the movie Selma. I thought he was done. I thought it was done well. Him and Malcolm X going hand in hand in a lot of things. Perfect yin to the other's yang. My number 4 is Martin Luther King Jr.
Wow. Him at 4. I can't wait to see what your top 3 are now. My number 4 is an actress who, again, in most people's, probably mine and Tim's generation's top 10 on celebrity crushes. She was in Pretty Woman along with other films, definitely. My number 5 is Julia Roberts.
Okay.
All right, you're number 3.
That was your 4. Okay. My number 3, I'm going musician. I'm not going Luke Bryan. I'm going with an artist who became blind early in his life, and taught himself how to play piano by ear. Started writing music at such a young age. Absolutely brilliant. To me, if this song is not the state song of Georgia, it should be in a song called Georgia on My Mind. I think it's an absolute beautiful song, absolutely beautiful love song to the state of Georgia, even though I hate the state of Georgia. But that's for another day, another time. But was later portrayed by Jamie Foxx in a movie called Ray. Absolutely brilliantly done. That I could not believe that it was played so brilliantly. Another guy who I believed helped the School of the Blind, I think in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. My number 3 is Ray Charles.
Yeah. Jamie Foxx's Ray Charles was huge. I will admit, I saw the name. I know who Ray Charles is, obviously. For some reason, I didn't even look because I did not even think he was born in Georgia. I don't even know why I didn't look. I don't know why. My number 2, my double up. You had half of it at number 5. I am going to go with also number 3 here. One Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and also Hulk Hogan from Georgia.
I have a feeling we're not getting 3. I have this really weird feeling.
All right, your number 2.
My number 2 is a man who has met my number 4. And
I met your number 4. No, I didn't meet your number 4. I met your
you
number
met,
5.
how did you meet Martin Luther King?
No, I'm at number 5. I was just like, I forgot you had him at 4. I'm like, wait a minute, I met you at number 5. I met Martin Luther King. I went back in time. I got the DeLorean in back.
Yeah, a man who most people remember for being a Cleveland Brown, was known to have went to. Funny thing is, and most people don't know this unless they really, really, really know a lot about my number 2, that he went to Syracuse on a lacrosse scholarship.
Okay.
Didn't go.
I didn't think lacrosse was big back then, but okay.
Oh, he was. They said his best sport was lacrosse, and funny thing is, he was a track star.
Mm-hmm.
Missed out on the Heisman Trophy, but the following year, the next guy at Syracuse wins the Heisman Trophy, which I thought was downright hilarious. To me, probably arguably the top 3 running backs in NFL history. I am blessed and lucky enough to have an autograph of my number 3. Unlike not meeting him, I pulled it from a pack. Nice piece of national treasure for this numbered out of 32. So that's a pretty piece. We are coming up 10 days. We're like 10 days short of a year since he's passed away. And absolutely still, and the funny thing is, to be drafted by the Cleveland Browns and have the last name of Brown, it's kind of little, kind of coincidental. But this man really loved his Cleveland Browns, was heartbroken that the original Cleveland Browns had moved to Baltimore. A big civil rights activist, and one hell of a member of the Magnificent Seven. In the 1960s. My number 2 is Jim Brown. Don't worry, I double checked.
Well, I was just looking. May 18th. Well, I didn't realize.
You should have known this. You're the time traveler, man. You should know this.
Yeah. Me and Jim Brown were hanging out with Martin Luther King that day. But no, I didn't realize. I actually thought Jim Brown passed a while ago, or not a while ago, but a few years ago. I didn't realize it was a week, 10 days. Yeah. Well, okay. So my number 2. Going to start kind of a theme here, but my number 2 is, I didn't write down the year or the number president he was, but I got Jimmy Carter. All right, you're number 1.
He is the 39th president.
39th.
And the phrase that pays, we have it here. My number 1 is your number 2. My number 1 is James Earl Carter Jr.
All right. Well, back-to-back phrase that pays. My number 1, I was shocked that you had him less than 3. I was shocked you had him at 4. The guy that I met in my mind, I guess, Martin Luther King Jr.
I would have loved to have been there the day you met him.
Well, yeah, I would have too. Oh, yeah. All right. So let's go to.
You got 3.
Yeah, we did get 3. We did.
Because you doubled up on Hogan with
I
Cody.
did a double up on Hogan, which again, good thing we talked about it because I would have missed that one. I had to relook because I thought
Which
he was
one, Hogan or Cody?
Hogan.
Oh, you
Hogan.
missed. I was
Yeah,
hoping you were. I was hoping you were going to miss Hogan. I really
would have. I would have, but we started talking backstage about all the wrestlers from Georgia. We started listing them, and I looked. I'm like, Hogan's from, because I thought he was from Florida. I would have bombed on that one. I would have missed him twice because I would have thought he was from Florida when we did Florida, and but yeah. So, all right, so let's go to Hawaii. This one was a little bit better. We will not go 5 for 5 because I know I got a big curveball.
Go 5 for 5.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say we got 3. I'm gonna say 3 this time.
If you know me,
I think we could go 4, but I don't think we will.
If you know me, I've met one of these people.
Okay.
Now I got to double check.
I think I know who you. I think I know who you talk about. I think I do have him on here. If not, I'm okay. All right. So what are you going?
Is it my go or is it your?
How many are we going? I said 3.
Oh, I think I want to double check and make sure. Okay, he's from Honolulu. We're good. I didn't realize he went to University of Hawaii. I think. Oh wow. 3. I think 3 is a good possibility. 3.
Okay.
And you get to go first. No.
Yes. No, you do.
I do.
Hawaii's you.
Hawaii's me.
Oh.
Double check. No, it's you.
No, I went first with. Let's see. You, me, you. Oh, it is me. Okay. All right. Number 5. Going to the music world, which I think this guy's only known for one song, which I play over and over again every time when I just want to get that hip hop music going. I would have played this constantly at night moods, probably the open,
and
because I always have my closer. And that's Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
Oh, really? Number 4, 5. Okay, cool.
All right. You're number 5.
All right, we're gonna go to the squared circle. I had to double check this guy myself just to make sure.
Okay.
And I had no clue that he was from Hawaii until I looked up on Wikipedia for people born. Remember, born? Yeah, he's from Kona. He died the day before my sister's birthday. But he's from Kona. I didn't realize that he was. I know he was in the WW. I don't remember if he was in the WWE before they became. I know he was in the WWF. I don't realize if he had been there when they took the F out of the WWF. But my number 5 is Bryan Adams, formerly known as Crush.
Wow, I didn't realize he's another one too. I thought was from.
Yeah, he's Kona.
Yeah.
I looked at, and the funny thing is, I looked all these people up, and I swear to God that I'm like, okay, there's yeah, okay.
Why did they have her from Hawaii when she was born in Australia?
She was born in Honolulu.
No, she wasn't.
If it's who I think it is.
Nia Jax?
No.
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 Who are you thinking of?
Somebody else.
Okay. Somebody else that's on your list. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
My number 4, I'm going to claim this is the first time we brought a category up or whatever of this sport, surfing.
Yeah.
And
surfing.
Of course, Hawaii, you're known for California, Hawaii surfing.
Yep.
And again, this is the young lady, Bethany Hamilton.
Oh, that's the one that lost her arm.
Is that what it was? Okay, I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, a shark bit her off her right arm.
Okay. All right, your number 3.
My number 4. My number 4, well, we're going to throw up the phrase that pays. You know, the thing that I love when I'm the one doing it, but not the one being it done to. My number 4 is your number 5, Bruno
Oh,
Mars.
Bruno Mars. Okay. All right. My number 3. Now, I think this is a guy you met.
Here comes the sniping. It's just going to be all
I'm trying
trash.
to think. Aquaman, I think he was in. And I think there's a great clip of Roman Reigns standing on the ring and somebody yells at him that I liked him in Aquaman. And he turns around and goes, well, yeah, I would have made more money if, or would have made more money if I played Aquaman. And that's Jason Momoa. I don't want to pronounce his name wrong, and I know I did. So, your number 3.
The phrase that pays. My number 3 is your number 3. Absolutely, an amazing guy, great guy. He is the guy that I have met. In
I did, when you said that, I'm like, oh, that's right, he did say that. Okay,
I have his autograph.
nice.
My dad has an autograph. My brother has an autograph. This is the guy that I told that was going to play Aquaman before he got the job. Yeah. I told him that, and then he ended up going on Conan O'Brien and said, and Conan O'Brien says, I hear there's a rumor that you're going to play Aquaman. He says, I have not been told any of that. I have not been told that, but there is a guy in Florida that has told me that I will be playing Aquaman.
He went on Conan O'Brien said that?
And I was the guy that told him he was going to play.
Oh, I got to look up that clip now. That's kind of cool.
But yeah, my dad and my brother and I were sitting here. We went to the comic. I know this is taking a little time away from the show.
No, that's fine.
We were going to go to this Comic-Con in Tampa. They're still having the Comic-Cons in Tampa still. If you look it up, it's starting to become a pretty big, huge Comic-Con in Tampa. Kind of wish I could go. I've met a lot of great people, a lot of great actors. I met Sean Astin there, an amazing individual. But my dad wasn't going to go. He says, yeah, just go. And he was waiting for a name because my dad was a big Game of Thrones fan at the time. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I'm going to go. I'm not going to go. I'll just stay because we met some other people there, some other people that my brother and I wanted to see. And next thing, it was weird. And then we kept checking back on Facebook, and it was like, okay, no, didn't say anything. And about a week after, we said, we're going to see this. And I said, hey, Dad, would you go if Jason Momoa was going to be at Tampa Comic-Con? He says, what time? When are we going? So that's how that went. And then we got there. And then my dad got a map. Now, if people don't know, my dad was legally blind at this time.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he got, because of diabetes, he had macular degeneration, and then his eyesight got proceedingly worse. But I have never seen this man run in my entire life. And I played soccer, and he was my coach. I never seen my dad run, even when he was yelling at referees on this. Never seen my dad run. And we get this map. We get the map of where all the autographs were going to be signed. And my dad says, where are the autographs going to be? I said, well, according to this map, it's to the right. He takes off, literally running. A legally blind guy running, scared the hell out of me and my brother because we're going, where's he going? And it was crazy. And so we're following my dad like we were a couple parents watching a toddler take off towards the slide at a playground. My dad puts down the money. We get to the place. Jason's already at the table getting ready to sign. My dad puts the money down for the autograph, grabs a picture, and goes up, shakes my hand. And those two were talking for 25 minutes before we had ever got there. And they were talking like Jason was my dad's star football player in high school. They had known each other for years. And if it wasn't for my dad, I would have never told Jason Momoa that he was playing Aquaman. And to this day, it's probably the greatest feeling and story that I ever have about my dad. I got tons and tons of stories, but
yeah, you do.
It with my dad, it blew me away, and my brother and I were shocked, and we sat. There was nobody in line waiting for Jason Momoa, which was before Jason had hit it big with Aquaman and really deeper into with Stallone, and we had conversations and things like that, and it was. We sat and talked to Jason Momoa until they went to get him to go backstage back in the dressing room in the dressing room for lunch. We sat and talked to him for like 45, 50 minutes.
Nice.
Just the three of us. An absolutely amazing guy.
That's cool. Cool. My number 2, a quarterback that till this day I still don't know why he is playing as many concussions as he got in a short amount of time. I think we talked about it on Morning Tailgate quite a bit, that if we were friends of his, we would tell him just to back out, take a year off, get healthy. And that's one, Tua Tagovailoa.
Wow. How many did you say we're getting?
Just 2. I said 3 for sure.
Oh, we're gonna get 3 at this point.
All right, you're number 3. You're
my number 2. The first time I ever saw this actress in a movie was opposite Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder. Then she started doing other things with Tom Cruise, and besides getting married, besides doing movies, she got married to Tom Cruise. Most people think when you said how is she from Hawaii if she was born in Australia, which is a funny thing is because my number 2 is an Australian who was born in Honolulu. And absolutely, to me, my wife hates this woman. Absolutely despises. I could sit there. We could do a show starting on Wednesdays when we're not doing this show, like of actors and actresses my wife hates. And we could fill an hour. But my number 2 is the former Mrs. Tom Cruise, and we're not talking about Katie Holmes. We're talking about Nicole Kidman.
Wow, she's from Denver? Wow.
She's from Honolulu.
Or Hawaii?
Yeah. She's from Denver. Yep. It would have made Colorado a whole lot easier.
Yeah, she would have been number 1. All right, my number 1. Now I gotta look quick.
Oh God, he's okay. Now I gotta start wondering what the hell. Who do you got at number 1? I had to double check. The sad thing is I had to double check Nicole Kidman because I knew my number 1 was solid.
Okay, let's only check here because you said we got 3 for sure.
Oh God! Okay. Now, who did you?
All right. Well, today is a theme of that, and so I have the 40. Okay, why don't I have his number? Is it the 41st president?
Should be the 44th.
44th president, yes. Yes, 44th. Barack Obama.
Yep. Brock Lesnar Obama.
All right.
Well, as we said, we have 3 for sure. The phrase that pays, my number 1 is your number 1.
You had me worried because when you said that after 2, I'm like, did he miss Brock or did I put Brock on there?
Barack Hussein Lesnar Obama.
Yeah. All right. So let's move up to Massachusetts, which we both agree that we could have done tons of. We could have done a whole list of this one. So I doubled up quite a bit. I will admit that right off the bat. So
and the sad thing is I doubled up once.
Yeah. So.
I could have doubled up 400 times in the state. I hate this state.
I hate this state.
This state in New Jersey. I hate these states.
All right. So go ahead. Give us your first.
My first.
Or fifth.
My first or fifth. Funny thing is, my fifth is the only thing he has in relation is half his name. But my number 5 is the biggest signature that is on the Declaration of Independence. And when you're asked to sign something or autograph something, you are asked for this because his name is the biggest name on the Declaration of Independence, and the reason why he wrote his name so big was so that the king could see it all the way in the United States. My number 5 is John Hancock.
All right. My number 5 is my first double up. It's funny that they both were born in this state and they became friends. One passed away late last year, early this year, I believe. One is a funny guy on the show, on the movie or TV show Friends. Matthew LeBlanc, aka Joey, and Matthew Perry.
I thought Perry was Canadian.
Nope. He was born in Williamstown, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I just saw it. As soon as I said it, that's Williamstown.
Yeah. So, all right. You're number 4.
My number 4 are two guys. This is my only double up, and the sad to say that there was 4 presidents, and I only chose 2 of them, and these are not it. Good luck trying to figure out which 2 presidents I took. But it's funny because these 2 guys get confused for each other all the bloody time. One is half of the writing team that won Good Will Hunting. The other was a person who used to be in New Kids on the Block and was removed because of a child crime, a childhood crime where he almost killed somebody. My number 4 is one half is Matt Damon, and the other half is Mark Wahlberg.
Okay, hold on here, because now I might have screwed up on my next one here.
Because Ben Affleck's from California.
Nope. Nope.
Who did you screw up on?
Nope. Okay. I just want to make sure because, but actually, it's early. It's my next one. My number 3, is a wrestler. We're gonna go in the ring, and I say if they would put make a card and not have him on there, just have his name on there, would be the best card ever because his motto is "You can't see me." My number 4 is John Cena. I think that honestly would be the best card ever. You just put a hat and whatever. You just don't have his face on there.
Another guy I was lucky enough to have met.
Yeah.
He threw out the pitch on a Tampa Bay Rays game, and I was lucky enough to have met him that day at Tampa State at the Trop. And the funny thing is, I'm going to say it now. My number 3 is your number 3. So yeah, there is a phrase that pays. My number 3 is your number 3, and and the thing is, he's from Italian descent. And it's hilarious when you hear Santino Morello, who's not Italian but Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing that makes me appreciate Santino even more is the fact is he learned how to pronounce names with the in Italian properly, and to find out that John Cena's name pronounced in Italian is Cena.
Really?
So Santino actually says John Cena's name properly in Italian. John Cena.
All right. Sorry, guys. I didn't even realize the comments are coming in a little delayed on my end here, but J Max chiming in. Good morning, Big B and Big Timmy.
Oh,
WCW is better than WWF in my opinion. Back in the day, it was when Hogan jumped on there. Yeah, yeah, Big B the time traveler. Yeah, I misspoke. I once was late to practice. The coach we were last. My dad was. Yep.
My dad
how are
was
you
late.
late? How are you late when your dad's the coach? I
My
mean,
dad was late all the time for practice.
yeah. So, all right. So where are we at here? Number 3. My number 3.
That was your number 3.
No.
No, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right. My number 3 was your number 2. You're right. Or 4.
Yeah, your number 3 was my number 4. So,
yeah.
All right. My number 3 is the. God, I just had it up too. Anyways,
Former.
He was after Reagan. So, and that's one George Bush Sr.
Yeah. Most people don't know he was from Massachusetts. There's like 5. The funny thing is, there's like 5 presidents from Massachusetts.
Yep.
And I only took 2.
You're number 2.
And I took 2. Matter of fact, I think last week we had, what did we have? It was a birthday last week, and we had, and our birthday was one half of the writers of the Declaration of Independence with Thomas Jefferson. And I kind of alluded to with the Declaration again with John Hancock.
Yep.
My number 2 is, I could have went with John Quincy Adams. I didn't. I went with the guy who helped write the Declaration of Independence. Matter of fact, I think he's the 2nd president of the United States. I think.
We know our history.
We did so great. And funny thing is, the Italians know our history better than. That's not the same John Adams. Weird thing is, they got John Adams and they gave me the composer. I'm like, who the world is John Adams the composer? Not John Cena, John Adams, the 2nd president of the United States. Yes, my number 2 is John Adams, the 2nd president of the United States.
All right. My number 2 is a double up. Half of it's going to be this, the phrase that pays. I got John Adams at number 2. I also tied him up with Benjamin Franklin.
Franklin was from Massachusetts.
God, you're gonna.
No, he more likely was, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't make sense.
Yep. Milk Street, Boston, Massachusetts.
Milk Street. That's terrible.
Milk Street, yeah.
Milk Street. I don't think I want to be born on Milk Street.
Yeah, exactly. All right. You're number 1.
My number 1, what can we say? The guy who worked with 2 other people on my list with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. and Jim Brown. Most people look at it that they think he was a conspiracy to his assassination in Dealey Plaza in Dallas. I think eventually we'll find out what that was, but I think we'll both be on our deathbeds figuring out we're probably the last people alive to worry about that. And now his nephew is running for president under is running under president under the independent on an independent card.
So you'll never get in.
No, because and the funny thing is, and I don't know if people knew this, that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. actually asked Aaron Rodgers to be his vice presidential candidate.
No, I didn't know that.
Aaron Rodgers turned him down. I think that may have saved him from, and I'm talking about Robert Kennedy, might have saved him from stupidity. But my number 1 is John F. Kennedy.
All right. Phrase that pays. For the second or third time tonight, we got the number 1, John F. Kennedy. You took him. So, all right. So let's get to our last day before I got a quick list here. We're going to go New Jersey. So
I hate New Jersey.
this one was a fun one too. I'm gonna go 2, and I think they're gonna be 1 and 2, just what order?
I think we're going 3.
You're gonna go 3? Okay.
I think they're going. I think 1, 2, 3. I think we might be going 1, 2, 3.
It could happen.
Yeah.
My number 5. I'm gonna go.
Well, I have a double up. Just so you know, I have a double up.
Okay. All right, my number 5 from New Jersey. We're gonna go with In the Ring. And I know if you guys watch Between the Ropes, if we did a list like, Tim said about his wife on women or actors and actresses she hates, this guy on Between the Ropes, we could do one list of his top female wrestlers that he just is in love with. And that's one mess around. Her real name is Gina Dado. AKA we know her as Liv Morgan.
Oh. Huh. Huh. I didn't know that. I probably did.
Yeah, I didn't know her real name until I saw the picture, and I'm just like, "Who is this?" And yeah,
This is another one that we could have had
we could have done quite a few on. So
we could have did top 10 just on wrestlers from New Jersey.
Yeah, possibly. So your number.
Because I've got a double up on 8 or 9 that are 2 wrestlers. It could have been 3.
Okay. You're number 5.
I know you're a baseball fan.
Yep.
Yeah. But this has very little to do with baseball. But if I were to, and the thing is, they did a bunch of movies. They're 2 actors, and I had to double check to make sure that they were both from New Jersey. This is the only reason why they're this is a double up, because one isn't going to be higher than the other. But if I were to say who, and if you followed, and most people who are really in tune, like who's on first,
yep,
and everybody remembers it, and then most people don't remember that they did a string of movies, but they're both from New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
My number 5 is the comedy duo of Abbott and Costello.
The greatest comedy skit of all times, I think. The baseball skit. That is, people have done it and done it well, but I just think that they've done it without missing a beat. I just, wow, yeah, that's a great. So, all right, we're going to number 5. We're going to music. I don't know what I could say about this guy that overall we haven't been said about this guy over time. And that's one John Bon Jovi.
Oh, you went the other way. Oh, you could have doubled up here. I think you could have.
I know.
I think I'll tell you, I have him at number 7.
Okay. You're number 4.
I'm on the fly double checking my work, because I could always, okay, we're cool. He's from Long Branch. I'm okay. It was funny how you brought up Matthew Perry and Matt LeBlanc in Massachusetts, and to find out that one person who got her start was in a video for my number 4. In the fun, and it's Dancing in the Dark. But most people, I don't think we have the phrase "born in the USA" unless we have our number 4. My number 4. He's obviously not your number 4, because of the album and the album cover. The guy who's got who has had his nickname stolen by somebody formerly from the WWE, who could have been on the Massachusetts list, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you're gonna go ahead, look her up, okay,
go ahead.
But to be called the boss before Mercedes Monet or Sasha Banks or whatever she wants to be called. But my number 4 is one Bruce Springsteen.
I don't think Sasha was born from Massachusetts. Um, Bruce Springsteen, I missed that one. All right, my number 3.
Oh, you're right. You're right. She's from California.
Ooh, Danny Davis is from Boston, Mass. Okay. So, anyways, my number 3, we're going to go with the guy in the middle who has a big beef on screen. I don't know much about it off screen, but it seems like they always can't get along when it comes to their NBA analysis, and they always seem to have one each other. But I outside of his playing career, I will remember him for their sit down discussion topic memory of Kobe Bryant, because you just see him just crying for a big guy that's 7'2", 7'3" to do that. And then you see videos of him shopping around and pulling the kid aside and telling him to go pick something out, and he's going to pay for it no matter what it is. And having the biggest bill to date at Walmart when he got drafted or moved to
Orlando, I believe it was.
Moved to Orlando. And that's one Shaquille O'Neal.
We're not going 3 unless you pull something out. We're not not going 3. Oh,
all right, number 2.
Number 3. My number 3.
Number 3. Yeah, you're number 3.
Number 3. I'm going actor.
Nope.
Yep. So this one I have a feeling you have it number 2. When I saw this, I'm like, really? He's from New Jersey. I always thought he would have been a California guy, especially when you realize that he was best friends with Dennis Hopper. People will talk to you and say this guy is an amazing actor. I think one of his best acting jobs I've ever seen him do. And everybody's going, he was a great Joker in Batman. That's still not his greatest acting job that he's ever done. I was lucky enough to see him in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Still not his best. He did this amazing movie for Martin Scorsese called The Departed. Absolutely loved it. I believe he won the Oscar for The Departed. Absolutely brilliant. It was funny how you brought up a Laker with Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. I'm going with the guy who owns season tickets at the Forum. Now, I think it's not the Forum no. I think it's the Staples, what used to be the Staples Center, but I don't know what it is now. I know he used to own tickets, the Kia Forum, as I found out. They called it the Kia Forum now from the roast of Tom Brady. It's the only time I'm going to give that any credence. But my number 3 is Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, I missed that one. Yeah, there's a lot on here that there's a guy I'm going to ask later to see where you had him listed at. My number 2 is a lovely lady that her voice said a lot. She to this day, I think, has the best national anthem. I think, as a matter of fact, I think NFL even did a football card of her that's worth quite a bit of money. Oh, it's not. Okay. I know at the time it wasn't.
I had 100 of them. I had 100. The Pro Set made it. I had 100 of them.
Okay. That's one Whitney Houston.
We're not getting to
it. And honestly, when they had her funeral service, I actually sat and watched it pretty much from start to finish, and they carried her out. That was honestly the best way they could have carried her out of. So, your number 2.
My number 2, I'm going singing, and acting much like Whitney Houston did, but I'm not going Whitney Houston. A guy who's known as Old Blue Eyes, a famed member of the Rat Pack. with Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Jack Lord. Jack Lord was on one of these lists. I could have did Jack Lord on one of these lists. I'm thinking New Jersey. I could have done it with. Absolutely brilliant voice. Everybody keeps confusing him that he's from New York, but he is not. Even though he sings a song called New York, New York. My number 2 is Old Blue Eyes himself, when Frank Sinatra.
And to finish off my list, the phrase that pays. I could not remember what his nickname was. I'm glad you said it because I would have. But yeah, Frank Sinatra. I knew it was Blue something. I couldn't remember if it was Blue Eyes or I don't know. But yeah, Frank Sinatra. So you're number 1.
My number 1. And I will say this, and I will apologize to anybody who, and this guy who, if you disagree with him, he will punch you in the face. To me, one of the, even at his advanced age, and I still believe he is still alive, guy I will never piss off. He's probably one of the toughest sons of bitches in the world. Tell him that the food, go ahead. I want somebody to walk up to this man and tell him that the moon landing was fake.
Dragon Viper will.
Oh, and he'll get hit hard. My number 1 is Buzz Aldrin.
I think Buzz is there. I missed that one too. That's definitely not a guy. Yeah, you want to
not a guy I want to make angry. But go ahead. What guy do you think where
did you have Danny DeVito
at? Doubled up with Michael Douglas at 8.
Oh, okay.
Because they were best friends in high school.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. So.
Yep. I had at 6. I had doubled up Derek Jeter and Mike Trout.
Oh, okay.
I had John Bon Jovi at 7, Michael Douglas and Danny DeVito at 8, Bam Bam Bigelow, King Kong Bundy, and DDP at 9, and David Copperfield at 10.
Yeah, I wanted to put Bigelow on there, but I'm just like, I can't. I mean, I guess I could have doubled up on 5 and put them together, but all right. So our quick list here. Anybody that has a green thumb and likes to garden, these are the top 5 according to the Pioneer Woman. Top 25 best vegetables to plant in a garden. Easy, but I'm only going to go top 10. And actually, I just did my garden. I just planted my garden yesterday. So, number 10, they got carrots.
Yeah, them are easy.
Yeah. Number 9, which I did plant this year, cabbage.
You have to have them in you have to have them spread out a certain amount between when you plant them, or do you just?
They don't say, but they just said to have them planted before the last spring frost for the summer harvest. You can start growing them inside. They need 6 to 8 hours of sunlight per day.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I got them in a good spot. We'll see if they grow. If not, I can move them next year. Pumpkins are number 8.
Really?
Yeah. Number 7, radishes.
Not a big fan.
I'm not a big fan of them either, but I saw a recipe that, if you're on a diet and like potatoes, they say chop up radishes, fry them up like potatoes, and they'll taste like potatoes.
Really?
They actually taste like potatoes. Number 6, I'm not a big fan of bok choy.
Bok choy?
Yeah, bok choy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Number 5, turnips. Again, not a big fan of them.
Not a turnip fan.
But these
Rutabaga, yeah. Turnips, no.
Okra, another big fan.
Not a big fan of
okra.
Not a fan.
The green onions. I love green onions.
Yeah.
So, I can eat those. Chop them up. I can fry them up. I can just eat them raw. Number 2, potatoes.
Love potatoes. Absolutely love potatoes.
Love potatoes. Have not grown them, but I heard they're not that hard.
Carbohydrates will kill you.
Yeah. And number 1 vegetable to grow, broccoli.
Love broccoli.
Oh yeah, fresh broccoli.
Did you know that? And I found this out. Like last week. that broccoli is actually a man-made invention.
Really?
Yep. Between was it broccoli and kale are both are human inventions.
Okay. Others on the list, beets. My son loves beets. I can't stand them.
And them things.
Lettuce,
Love it.
tomatoes. I've got a few tomato plants going.
Tomatoes I can't do because tomatoes, they got this texture that I absolutely hate.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand them. Love everything else about it. I just can't. The texture, you put it in my mouth and it's something slimy. It's like eating a worm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Beans they have on the list
Love
as easy
beans.
to do. Peppers.
Peppers I love.
Oh. Herbs, of course, are pretty easy to grow. Cucumbers, got a couple plants of those. So,
Spinach. Love
yeah. So, with that, Tim, final thoughts.
Love doing these shows. Thanks, Jason, for showing up and then
Yep.
leaving a quarter of the way through. You basically do the prime ooze way of watching shows. I do the same thing. I get there a quarter and then I watch a quarter of it and then I leave and pretend to come back. Got great shows. Watch everything that we've got on. One of these days they're going to fax me over a schedule so I can read it all out.
Yeah, summertime for us is it's a lot of hit or miss who's going to be on with shows because everybody's got family stuff. Callan and Big James were on last night for C2C late night, I think they call it.
At night.
Or at night.
Yep.
They're tonight is Sports Minute with myself, Ace, Big James, Callan's typically on there. Tomorrow, Thursday, definitely Kicking It is going to be on. Hopefully, I should say it shouldn't be, but we always watch for the last 10 minutes of that because we always get Isaiah's great review of movies that he did not let us down for Weekends at Bernie's.
Oh my God.
This week talking about a wedding. I mean, the part that he kind of got right was the main character was they couldn't get him awake.
Drunk.
Yeah, he said he was drunk, couldn't get him awake. So
he wasn't awake because he was dead.
Yeah. So outside of that,
you should really get him to do Con Air.
Okay. I've seen it. It's been a while, but Con Air, that'll be a good one.
Either Con Air or Face Off. Do Face Off. Forget it. Do Face Off because he's going to call it a hockey movie. I will guarantee it.
Oh, the Face Off with
John Travolta and Nick Cage.
Yes, Face Off. Okay, that'll be a good one. It's been a while since I've seen that one too. Yeah, Face Off. That's a good one. Yeah. Well. So tune in tomorrow night, Kicking It. You just have to watch the last 10 minutes of it. When we do
watch the whole show. No. You gotta pipe it up.
You gotta watch the whole show. The whole show can be funny.
Even in the middle of the show, he says weird things. So
oh yeah. This is the guy that if you guys haven't watched, he likes to put Fruit Loops and stuff on his potato. I don't know, but anyway, on deck coming up, entertainment hour. Of course, us on C2C Rankem Between the Ropes on Sundays. So, and then Oregon Cougars football when J-Mac and the crew get go to the next home game. This past week we had coverage of the backyard brew games.
But thanks for everybody who watched that.
Yeah. Thank you to everybody that watched that. So we will see you next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.